The young di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar has warned that more parties are on his radar over graft. Meanwhile, Wan Saiful Wanjan and Saifuddin Abdullah have retracted their appeal against their dismissal from Bersatu. Stay tuned for this and more on KiniNews. Young di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar has warned that more individuals are on his radar in his uncompromising fight against corruption, adding that even the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission is not exempt. In a Facebook post today, His Majesty said corruption is a betrayal of the people's trust and will not be tolerated in the country's administration. Sultan Ibrahim cautioned that the fight against corruption is not limited to a handful of departments or merely those who give and receive bribes. Those in the police force, the immigration department, and the customs department, among others, should also be cautious, he added. He stressed that regardless of rank, anyone involved in corrupt practices would remain under scrutiny, including agents who act as middlemen and suppliers of equipment, clothing, and medical supplies. The king also warned that he was aware of what was happening behind the scenes. His Majesty emphasized that anti-corruption efforts must not be cosmetic or merely rhetorical, as no one is above the law. Officers who fail to discharge their duties with honesty and integrity, he said, should be transferred without delay. The Agong's warning came amid the ongoing controversy involving MACC Chief Commissioner Azam Baki after Bloomberg and Malaysia Kini separately reported last week that he owned significant shares in two companies that appeared to be in excess of what the civil service allowed. Rafizi Ramli has described the Tangkap Azam Baki 2.0 rally in Kuala Lumpur yesterday as encouraging despite the short notice. In a Facebook post last night, he said it reminded him of the Kita Lawan series of demonstrations that began in February 2015 in response to the 1MDB scandal. Rafizi added that if he were Nurul Izzah Anwar or Saifuddin Aston Ismail, who have direct access to Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, he would tell the Premier about the Kita Lawan series. He noted that Anwar was in prison at the time and may not have known about it. According to Rafizi, the lesson from Kita Lawan is to never underestimate the resolve of a small group of citizens, especially young people, when they believe their cause is just and free of personal interest. He stressed that eventually their voices would be echoed by the wider public. Rafizi said the first Kita Lawan demonstration had fewer than 50 people, and he was unable to attend because he had been arrested 2 days earlier. However, he said that after several rounds, by March 2015, the Kita Lawan demonstrations drew a good turnout. He said this strengthened their confidence that the public would continue to support a cause if the issue truly resonated with them. He added that the integrity issue involving Azam fits those same characteristics. From now on, you can also listen to KiniNews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Scan the QR code on the screen to follow us. While we are on the topic of Azam Baki, several MPs have called for former Chief Justice Tengku Maimun Tuan Mat to head investigations on the MACC and its chief. Subang MP Wong Chen was among those that called for Tengku Maimun to be added to the three-member government committee probing Azam over a shareholding issue that emerged last week. Meanwhile, Seputar MP Teresa Kok called for an independent committee to probe Azam and the MACC instead, by suggesting Tengku Maimun head such an investigating team. In a statement over the weekend, she said a vast majority of Malaysians widely acknowledge her to possess impeccable credentials, unquestioned integrity, and a proven record of independence. She added that Tengku Maimun's involvement would immediately lend credibility, public confidence, and legitimacy to the investigative process. When contacted, Passes Alosata MP Afnan Hamimi Taib Azamuddin, Machang MP Wanama Faisal Wanama Kamal, and Kota Belud MP Isna Raisa Munira Majlis from Warisan also supported having Tengku Maimun leading investigations. Isna Raisa told Malaysia Kini that Tengku Maimun is a very righteous figure, so when she heads investigations, it is more convincing and will be fair to all. The government had previously announced that a three-member committee headed by Attorney General Dosuke Mokhtar is probing issues concerning Azam's multi-million ringgit shareholdings and compliance with civil service rules. The committee also consists of Public Service Department Director General Wan Ahmad Dahlan Abdul Aziz and Treasury Secretary Johan Mahmud Merikan. However, it has been indicated that the committee will only be investigating the shareholding claims against Azam. The Malaysian Bar has urged the government to ensure that any investigation into allegations involving MACC Chief Commissioner Azam Baki is conducted independently, transparently, and without delay to safeguard the institution's credibility. Its President Azri Abdul Wahab said, whatever approach the government adopts in addressing the issue must strengthen public trust in the MACC and uphold the rule of law. He stressed that when concerns involve the head of the country's principal anti-corruption body, the matter goes beyond personality. He said it directly affects public confidence in institutional integrity, and the Commission's credibility depends on the reputation of its leadership. At a broader level, as we noted, the episode once again underscores the need to strengthen structural safeguards governing anti-corruption institutions. He added that long-standing proposals for enhanced parliamentary oversight, clearer conflict of interest frameworks, and greater institutional autonomy remain relevant. He said sustainable public confidence cannot rest on individuals alone. It must be anchored in systemic integrity. Last week, Bloomberg and Malaysia Kini separately reported that Azam owns significant shares in two companies that appear to be in excess of what the civil service rules allow. Following public outcry, the government formed a three-member committee headed by Attorney General Dusuki Mokhtar to conduct an investigation into the allegations. However, Dusuki indicated that it will only focus on issues regarding Azam's shareholdings. Azam has said that he will give full cooperation to the committee, adding that he had requested to be investigated. Meanwhile, Azam said he will give his full cooperation to the government committee investigating his shareholdings. In a press conference yesterday, he reportedly said that he has nothing to hide and will provide the committee with any documents needed, such as bank documents. He added that he would only show it to those who are part of the committee. The Star reported that Azam emphasized his willingness to cooperate, saying he had requested to be investigated. Azam also brushed off allegations in the Bloomberg report as non-factual. He said if they want to run with unverified information, that is up to them, and if anyone wants to file police reports on it, then go ahead. He also rejected calls to go on leave pending investigations. He said if he needs to go on leave, he can point to all those who have been charged in court but are still on duty. Previously, there had been calls for Azam to go on leave pending the investigations. The government had established a three-person committee headed by Attorney General Dusuki Mokhtar to investigate Azam's shareholdings and compliance with civil service rules. If you like the stories we produce, consider supporting us by subscribing to Malaysia Kini. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe. The Malaysian Bar has filed a judicial review application seeking the court to declare, among others, that Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's decision to appoint Federal Court Judge Ahmad Tehruddin Saleh to the Judicial Appointments Committee (JAC) is null and void. According to court documents, the application was filed on February 12 at the Kuala Lumpur High Court. The Bar, which is the sole applicant, named Tehruddin, Anwar, the JAC and the government as the first to fourth respondents. They are seeking a mandamus order to compel the JAC to establish a Royal Commission of Inquiry to investigate allegations against Tehruddin, with its findings to be made public. The Bar is also seeking a mandamus order to compel Anwar to exercise the prerogative of appointing a JAC member in accordance with the law. This is in accordance with the established conventions and the Judicial Appointments Commission Act 2009. They also want the court to issue a quo warranto order to compel Tehruddin to show cause and disclose the basis for his appointment to the JAC rather than another member of the judiciary. They are seeking the same order against Anwar, the JAC, and the government with respect to the appointment. It also sought the court's order for a stay of the appointment pending the full and final disposal of the judicial review proceedings. Tehruddin was appointed as one of the 9 members of the JSC last November, replacing former Federal Court Judge Zabaria Yusof, who retired in October. He was appointed by Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim under the quota of 5 executive-picked members of the JAC. His appointment was touted as a departure from the long-standing practice of assigning that slot to a senior Federal Court judge. Moving on to Bersatu, sacked Bersatu leader Wan Saiful Wanjan and Saifuddin Abdullah have retracted their appeal against their dismissal. According to a copy of Wan Saiful's letter to the Bersatu Appeals Board dated yesterday, the lawmaker believed the party had strayed from its original path. He blamed Bersatu Secretary General Azmin Ali and Bersatu President Muhyiddin Yassin for the problem. He said he is of the view that Bersatu no longer has a future because Muhyiddin, as the party president, has allowed himself to be influenced and controlled by Azmin. He added that it has caused Bersatu to no longer fight for the Rakyat's agenda, but instead fight for personal interests. Therefore, he said he retracts his appeal with immediate effect. In a post on Facebook, he said his case shows the hypocrisy of Muhyiddin and the Bersatu president's loyalists, as they are doing the same thing that got him sacked. According to Wan Saiful, among the accusations thrown at him was that he had worked to establish a Perikatan National Executive Council and later a presidential council within the coalition. Wan Saiful stressed that Muhyiddin is doing the same thing now, and this was what he had written in his letters to the presidents of PN component parties. And that's all from me today. For more stories, you can go to kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, X, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.